The Ice Dogs looked down and out, and they've managed to hold on to at least a glimmer of finals hope with a 7-2 victory over the Sydney Bears at Macquarie Ice Rink, and that will do it. So they've prolonged their season. All they needed was a win tonight, and they did it in emphatic fashion.
Every year brings hope, brings change, and brings a new hockey season. Last season, the Sydney Ice Dogs needed one win in their final game to book their ticket to the Goodall Cup finals. They fell short with a 3-2 loss at home to the Melbourne Mustangs. It has been 4 years without playoff hockey for the club and 3 years since the Ice Dogs began their rebuild in 2016. One player that has been critical to the Ice Dogs rebuild is Canadian import forward Grant Toolman, now a fan favourite and one of the league's elite point scorers.
So when you think ice hockey, you don't immediately think about Australia. There's not a lot of kind of knowledge or talk of kind of the style of play. You know there's hockey over here, but no one really knows what the style is. I came in with no expectations, no real idea what it was going to be like, and I was really surprised. It's a very, very similar to a North American style. It's up and down, north-south, very physical and hardworking. It's almost good coming in not really knowing, because then you can kind of figure it out as you go. But yeah, it's a hard style of play. The Aussies work hard, and it takes a little bit just to kind of get into the swing of things and get used to it.
But he's tied up by Munko. Here's a chance now for the Dogs. Toolman gets a shot away and scores. That was all ends up there.
After being here for the past 3 seasons and just seeing the progression of it, the first year we didn't have very many wins, and you can see we're building, and it was the first year the team was back. The last 2 seasons now, we've been kind of knocking on the playoffs doorstep, and you can just see all the guys, younger guys are getting older and they're getting better, and the team's they're finding their stride. So it's very easy to get excited for this season, and we have the imports coming in. It's a great class this year. So I think we have a real good chance this year at going all the way. So it's very exciting. With the last 2 seasons and us barely missing playoffs both years, what I think is a big difference maker is winning the games early, not waiting till the end of the season to start playing with some urgency. We need to start the season ready to go right off the bat, because I think it was my second year, we lost a couple early games that we were leading going into the third period, and we lost, and you don't really think much of it when it's game 6 or 7 of the season, but when it came down to game 28 and we were 2 points out of a playoff spot, it really affects you. So I think it's coming into the season ready to go and having all guys on the same page and just not giving up any easy losses early on. After the past couple of years, we've had some awesome imports, but this upcoming season we have some incredible players. We have the Crowder brothers coming from the UK, and the points they're putting up, they're incredibly offensive, which is fantastic. And the fact that you could put both of them on a line and they're immediately going to have chemistry. I mean, you could put anyone with them and it's going to be successful. And then we got some strong defensemen coming in. We have offensive with Quayle, and I mean, that's exciting. Anytime you have an offensive D-man, the power play immediately jumps up a step. So that's always fun. And then Bartis we got in net. And I mean, potentially he's going to be the best goalie the league's ever seen. So when you have a class of imports like that, it's just going to be fun to play with.
It has been a busy summer for coach Andrew Petrie, assembling an import lineup to join Toolman in the quest for the Goodall Cup.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time on recruitment this year. I wanted to make sure that I got it right across the board. That's always the challenge. I did a lot of reference checking, brought a lot of my recruitment skills to bear, in terms of just doing some due diligence and making sure that everything was as it seemed. And I'm utterly comfortable that we've got Obviously Grant's returning. We know what we get there, and that's awesome for the club to have him back again. But these 4 new guys are all professionals in the very true sense of the word. They're all in slightly different stages in their life. Probably taking the hockey a little bit more seriously and bringing a higher level of preparation and professionalism than we might have had across the board last year. I've been speaking to the Crowder brothers either individually or collectively now for about 2 or 3 years. Wanted to bring them, obviously. They're extremely high caliber guys with very, very similar histories, very close in age. I think they're only 11 months apart in age from memory. But these guys are offensive powerhouses everywhere they've played. They're very much looking forward to, they both admit they're in the last 3 or 4 years of their professional careers, and they're really looking forward to having, an experience in Australia together and on the same team. Having played as long as they have, they've only actually played a few games together in a couple of different opportunities. So their motivation is to be able to, map a memory this late in their career that has them together with their families, in Australia has always been a standout for both of them in terms of a location to come to. In terms of what the fans can expect from them, it's probably consistently high level of offensive output. Both very, very high skill guys, both very tall and lean, very fast. Slightly different assets that they bring to the table, but they both have great hands, and they're both currently amongst the top 11 in points per game in the AIHL. These guys are 200-foot players with big offensive upside.
It's a shot and it's a goal! It's went through a ruck of players and it's went straight in the net there, so...
Garrett's a really good mix of size, technique and athleticism. He's going to have exceptional technique, having played at the level that he's played at for as long as he has. He's just come off an ECHL season where he's seeing probably more shots on average. I think actually the most shots on average of any team in the East Coast. And he's still got above a 905 save percentage. He's a big body, tons and tons of compete. He just never gives up on pucks.
Dylan Quayle has tied this game up off the blue line. A shot that got through on a wrister, and Quayle tucks it.
What Dylan brings to the table is a very high level of offensive output. He's also, I spoke to a few defensemen, and Dylan kept referencing how much he wants to leave like an education footprint here with our local players, working with the defensemen during training, teaching them some nuance, showing them some finer skills that will help their game elevate offensively. Because we've got a great defensive core, but we don't produce as much offensively from the blue line as I would like across the board. We're already working on things in practice to try and elevate that. And when he arrives, he's going to be, giving the guys individual skills, little lessons here and there on how they can elevate their own offensive output in terms of timing, first pass, vision and decision making. But he played, I think it's 70-something games in the German Oberliga and was a point a game as a defenseman. I've got lots of video on this guy. His passing game is excellent. The other plus side with him is he's a big guy. He's a 94 kilo, 6'2" defenseman who takes a great deal of pride in playing in his own end as well. So I'm most excited about his offensive output and the fact that he wants to help our own core defensive group improve in their game. I've been doing this for a while now, and I always want to try and make sure that I don't have to manage the imports once they're here. And I figure if I put a lot more effort into making sure I'm bringing the right guys out, and that the club is happy to approve those people, that it'll be less management for me throughout the season, which lets me focus on the more core areas of actually coaching the team.
Whilst the new recruits finish their respective pro hockey seasons abroad, the rest of the squad are back to work focusing up and getting ready with pre-season camp.
We all give up a lot. There's sacrifices across the board.
For 2019, I ask for your focus, your energy. I'm asking you to be the best player and person you can possibly be.
The chemistry's starting to get there, and I think April 20, we'll be there ready, and we'll definitely put on a show.
feel good. You know, we're missing this year. Todd, Scott and Billy have all retired, but we got a lot of good young prospects coming through, and it's going to be good to see what everyone does with it.
This year's on-ice captain is going to be Tomas Manko, and the two guys who will be wearing the A's will be Tooley and Shannon McGregor.
I'm just hoping that we have a successful season, make the playoffs, and you know, once you're in the playoffs, anything can happen.
They have the team spirit there already, and it's great to be in a team that actually have that type of spirit.
We still consider being a part of the team an honour. It's a privilege. You know, to be in a room full of brothers and to be working towards something like this is, you know, I don't have to convince any of you what that means. It's special.
Every off-season has its challenges, from losing veteran players to seamlessly introducing new team members into the pack. The 2019 off-season saw the Ice Dogs hit with one of the biggest challenges in club history.
Macquarie Ice Rink will be thawed out and bulldozed as early as 2020 to make way for a $195 million redevelopment. The decision has been met with fierce opposition. Locals signing petitions to stop its closure after 40 years. Macquarie Shopping Centre will create a public plaza and improve transport links in its place.
I was shocked getting that news about the rink being demolished. It only just got refurbed. Not knowing what lies ahead for the future was pretty scary, and it was a bit disheartening. I guess the tough times can always lead to something better. The whole community jumped on it right away. Very fortunate that common sense prevailed, and we're having really good conversations, both us and the Bears, with AMP about development of a new ice rink that fits all our needs. So really excited about that. Yeah, we have an interesting relationship with the Bears. On the ice, it's probably one of the most heated rivalries. Definitely no love lost there, but off the ice, we had to work together in a lot of aspects. When it comes to off the ice, we do realise that as much as we hate each other on it, we need each other off it. It probably couldn't be any more true than when we got the news and had to work together with the ice rink about, you know, reaching out to both our fan bases to gather up as much support together and try and save the rink. I guess we've, you know, both gotten stronger as a result. The minute that puck drops, it's back to business as usual, and it'll pick up where it left off last year. They'll definitely have a lot to prove, and we want to hold on to the Wilson Cup.